It may not be just as good as the first Friday, but for the first sequel, it's a pretty entertaining sequel. Next Friday is the sequel to the classic comedy film Friday. Once again, written by Ice Cube. Once again, has Ice Cube and John Witherspoon. But this time, we have Mike Epps joining. And this one, we see Craig. He's moving to upside in the suburbs, Rancho Cucamonga, because his arch nemesis Debo is broken out of prison and he's got a little friend going with him. And so Debo is trying, and he will not stop at anything to get to Craig and make him pay, basically. While at Rancho Cucamonga, he meets his cousin Day Day, which is Mike Epps, and his daddy and his girlfriend. And then Day Day has problems of his own with his baby by his girlfriend, who he says he's not going out with, and he says that ain't his baby. But also he has his friend, and he has to deal with this gang that's in the suburbs with him and Craig, and also deal with Debo. So also Craig has to trying to flirt with another girl in the suburbs, who is the sister of the leader of the gang. So basically, that's the premise of Next Friday. A lot of shenanigans, still doing a lot of awesome, hilarious stuff. And first, pretty entertaining sequel is not too bad. Now, yeah, some of the writing, is not as good as it was with the first one. The writing's not very strong with this one. I can admit that. You do have some lines of dialogue that I'm like, really? Did that really have to come out of this character's mouth? Or that character's mouth? Or that character's mouth? And yes, it is kind of unnecessary in some parts. But is it horrible, cringeworthy? No, it's not bad dialogue. It's just some dialogue should not have been said. But I'll say this, it's better than what School Dance's dialogue was, because that movie is just... If I ever sit through that movie again, I think I'm going to scream. I'm talking about School Dance, guys. I really do hate that movie, and if you saw my review of that movie back in 2016, you know how much I freaking hate it. It is so... It makes me so angry. Anyways, I have to say there's plenty of other things. There are also the absence of Smokey is missing. Yes, Smokey is not in this one. And I guess because Chris Tucker, he was doing another movie at the time, and they didn't want it, and he probably didn't want to come back. But there is an explanation to why he's not in here. He goes to rehab because at the end of the first movie, he said he was done with smoking. So yeah, that's a plus. I will, at least you acknowledge the character where he is. Now, Day Day, Mike Epps. At first, when you first see him, he's just the tiniest bit annoying. But for the most part, Mike Epps just freaking makes me laugh a lot in this movie. His scenes, his part where he getting sprayed by Tamala Jones' character, that was hilarious. He gets sprayed, and then you have the one namer played by Amy Hill. And the acting in this movie is still pretty good. It's pretty solid. Now, Debo's little friend, however, he's he's I'll say this, he's alright. Then you got Clifton Powell, who is the owner of the record store, Pinky. And then his lines are like, he's so funny, and he tries to threaten Ice Cube with a gun. He's like, say something else and it is over. Clifton Powell is a great actor, and he is so hilarious in here. You got a lot of funny humor in here. Soundtrack is still kicking. It's still awesome. Add some new songs into it. I like the direction of the movie by Steve Carr. He directed the sequel to Are We There Yet? Are We Done Yet? Steve Carr is not a bad director. I like the locations. I like the location of the suburbs. It's pretty. That's interesting. That's good living. That's good, awesome living there. And for the most part, yeah, pretty good season. You still have the good acting from Ice Cube and John Witherspoon and Tiny Lister. You have good acting from the new introductions by Tamala Jones, Clifton Powell. It's a lot of good acting here. And like I said, it's not as good as the first Friday. It does have some problems with some of the dialogue and some of the profanity, but for the most part, it's not bad. I don't think it's a terrible sequel. And I have to say, I'm willing to give this movie a highly recommended. I'm letting this movie walk away with a highly recommended. This was fun. It was entertaining, okay? So, that's my review of Next Friday. Let me know what you guys think of Next Friday down below. Did you like it? Did you hate it? I will see you guys in my favorite one of this trilogy so far. Because Ice Cube said he was going to do another one called The Last Friday. So, we'll see. Alright.